We're here again. We're here again. We're getting ready to do another pop culture chat. Celebrity news. Stay tuned. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, here we are with another pop culture chat, celebrity news and all. I'm going to thank the blogs on this one. I think I've used The Hollywood Reporter, Gossip of the City. Who else we've used? The Shade Room. Hollywood Unlocked, and I know that there's some, and the Neighborhood Talk. So these are the gossip sites that I used for this. So let's get going on our first topic. Miss Wendy Williams. Oh, Wendy's show ends tomorrow. Friday is the last episode. Wendy Williams has been on the air over 10 years now, isn't it? But tomorrow is her last show. Now, we all know that Wendy has not been at her show for months now. Ever since that the news broke that her husband was cheating on her with Serena. I think that's the lady's name. And then Serena had a baby. Wendy's health has, her mental health and her physical health was on a complete decline to the point that she could not do her show. She had always said, it had went on hiatus for probably almost 6 months. And she was supposed to come back. And every time she came back, she wasn't either physically or mentally healthy enough to come back. There have been incidents in the news, child, where the Wells Fargo has her money tied up, saying that she is not mentally well to be able to conduct her finances and all of this stuff. So it's been a rocky road for Miss Wendy Williams, but we cannot let this milestone go unchecked, because whatever you feel about Wendy and her style of what she did on as far as celebrity gossip and news, baby, Wendy was the innovator. She was the star, like Little Richard said, he's the innovator of rock and roll. She was the innovator of all of this, like even what I am doing right now with this pop culture chat. She was the innovator of out here talking about celebrity news and gossip and stuff like that. If you're as old as I am, you remember that interview she did with Whitney Houston many, many years ago. Whitney Houston almost cussed her out. Well, she didn't almost. But anyway, we want to give her flowers. I think the show is being taken over, so they're going to cancel the Wendy Williams show, and then they're going to do the Sherri Shepherd show. I don't know if Sherri Shepherd is going to get into detail gossipy like Wendy did, but she is the heir apparent of this Wendy Williams show. Don't know what Wendy Williams is going to do. I've heard a lot of pundits say that Wendy needs to get into this podcast game. It would be beneficial for her. She doesn't have to work every day. She can work once or twice a week, get these podcasts out. So we want to just send light and love to Miss Wendy Williams, thank her for her services. But baby, just a brief little note, it's sad when a man can take you down like this. The love of a man can take you down like this, baby. Let's get into a story that has been, for me, I've been watching it for a couple of months now. But let's get into and send some love, light, and prayers to Miss Brittany Griner. Now, if you're not familiar with Brittany Griner, she used to be a WNBA player, and then she went over, I guess, to Russia to play. So when Russia started that whole war against, you know the country. She was trying to leave the country, and apparently they found some CBD oil or some cannabis, some vaping things like that in her suitcase, and they have detained her. She had a court hearing, and they detained her. So this is like the second or the third time. Let me see. Yes, this is the third time. And they've extended her hearing until July 2nd. So she has been trying to get out of Russia since February 16th or February 17th, when all of this started. First, there was little notice about it. I mean, even the NBA didn't even mention anything about it. And I guess because of the fact that she was no longer in the NBA, they didn't feel like it was important. But there has been a great groundswell of athletes and actors and regular folk that have been talking about, listen, if she'd have been anybody else, palm colored, you all would have moved mountains to try to get her, or make all these arrangements to try to go over there and get her, because we know that the charges are trumped up, just anything to keep, because she was the closest and the first American that they could keep over there. It is my understanding that there are diplomats in talk to trade her out with some prisoner, some Russian prisoner who would try to do slight terror. Well, I ain't gonna say slight, but terroristic acts against the United States. So I think that there are diplomatic talks for that. So we'll just keep her up in our prayers and hope we can get old Brittany home. I know her wife is looking for her and wanting her to be home. And I know she, it has to be something. You go over to play for a country or play in their league, and then look how they turned on you just as quick as they wanted to, child. Okay, now this is a story that I really wish that the California courts will hurry up and get this in the court so we can find out the actual facts of what's going on, instead of all this drip, 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 drip news. And it's about Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, and Kelsey. I don't know what Kelsey's last name. Kelsey was the former best friend of Megan. Now, as we all know, back in 2020 now, during the height of the pandemic, Meg was over at one of those Kardashian Jenner gals' house. I want to say it was Kylie. I think it was Kylie's home. She was over there at Kylie's home, dancing and prancing in their pool with Tory Lanez and her best friend Kelsey. I remember there was a Instagram live on it. And you saw Kelsey, not Kelsey, I didn't see Kelsey in that particular part of the Instagram live. But I did see Megan, I did see Tory Lanez, and he was in the back dancing and all this other stuff. And you can tell that Meg was feeling a little bit irritated. But, Then later on that evening, we see a news report where people in the certain neighborhood called the cops because they heard shots fired. Then when the cops came, we had an overhead view of Meg, and she's with her hands up and she's limping and backing up, and you see her leaving a blood trail. We find out later that she was taken to the hospital because she had been initially reported that she had glass in her foot. Then it came out that she was shot in her foot, because the initial reports to 911 is that the residents who were living in the home in the area in which all of this happened reported shots being fired. And I guess they reported that they heard like fussing or anything. So in the car was Tory Lanez, Kelsey, Meg Thee Stallion, and the driver. First, Megan didn't say, you're hurt, but she's trying to protect Tory from the cops shooting at them or anything like that, because we know how scared for their lives the cops are when black people are involved. But a doggone mass shooter, they're not scared for their lives, and even they will go and take this mass shooter out to Burger King to get something to eat. But what we found is that there was doctors' reports that they went in and they pulled out bullet fragments. There's a whole report on that from the doctor's office. I mean, not the office, but from the ER doctors. Now, there's all these conflicting stories. You've got another doctor saying that it was glass in her foot. But I do think that when Megan went in, she reported that it was glass in her foot. However, when they went to surgery, they found bullet fragments and they reported that there were bullet fragments. So there's this back and forth like, oh, that she had glass, she didn't have bullets. Because somewhere, somehow, some way, the evidence of the bullet fragments, I don't think they have the bullet fragments. So hopefully that the hospital, if they do like they usually do, they do a detailed report. They take pictures of what they find. It's particularly if it's a police investigation. They will then turn that evidence over. So I don't know exactly what's going on over there in Los Angeles if they don't have the evidence. But anyway, the issue being is that Meg has done at least... I know she's done an Instagram live explaining that Tory Lanez had shot her. She has done an interview with Gayle King explaining that Tory shot her. And recently she's done an interview with Rolling Stone. Now, I don't know who Meg's publicist is, her team. I don't know who in that team is telling her that it's a good idea for her to do these interviews, but they need to be fired. Or if Meg is going rogue and doing these interviews, because I don't know why she feels it's so important to have public sentiment behind her. I don't know why that's important for her, because what she's not understanding is when you get into, it's the court of law that determines whether or not if Tory Lanez is going to go to jail or not for shooting you, not public opinion, because public opinion sways on whatever information that they have. But she's out here doing all these doggone interviews, and I'm just, she is going to me hinder her own case by trying to win over public sentiment about she got shot. I don't think that there is a question to say that she didn't get shot. If they wrote down a document from the hospital saying they removed bullet fragments, they removed bullet fragments, and there's no refuting that they removed bullet fragments, okay? But she got on here talking about Kelsey, and the reason why this one was interesting, because she's always adding information unnecessarily. Like I said, I don't know who her team is, but I hope her team gets with her and let her know, you need to stop these interviews, or her whoever's her record label. I don't know exactly what's going on with Meg, but they need to nip all of this in the bud. But she went on there and she made a statement, a very provocative statement, saying that Kelsey was into talks with Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez thanked Kelsey for not saying that he shot Meg, and that apparently, according to Meg, Kelsey took money from Tory to help out with her businesses. And so, we don't really hear nothing from Kelsey, but Kelsey got out and she made a statement saying that she's sick of these internet games, that Meg is playing these internet games, and the truth will come out and she's going to be able to tell the truth. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on with that, because if Kelsey says she didn't shoot Meg, Tory said that he didn't shoot Meg, and the driver said he didn't shoot Meg. So we just have to wait for the court hearing. So I really wish that they would use some of this celebrity pool and get this court hearing before the courts. I think it's coming before the courts in September, but it would be great to get this before the courts, because we need facts. And I don't think Meg is the best person to pull out the facts. And the thing that I don't think her team is telling her is her story has to make sense, and she has to tell that same story every time. And every time she comes out with all this interesting added information. And I know that, I don't blame the news media for trying to get this information. I blame Meg and I blame her team, because she does not need to continue to talk about it. She needs to continue to get on with her life, let her music speak for itself. And then when she has to go to court, she goes to court. So we'll see what happens with that. Child. Oh! Miss Monique. Now, Monique has been in the news for the past couple of weeks. I didn't talk about it with her back and forth with DL because I just think it's just messy, and then they just too old for this messy stuff. And I wish they would just cut it out. We have had sentiments for Monique with her mess between Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. And that seems to have been squashed as far as Lee Daniels is concerned. She seemed to, because he apologized a couple of months ago, she seems to be okay with the apology. I don't think that she'll ever get an apology from Oprah or Tyler Perry or any of those people because they know what they did. We all understand that they blackballed Monique. However, with this DL situation, it's just bruised ego and pettiness to the umpteenth level. I don't think it goes to that level. However, we just got some news, and I'm pulling this from Gossip in the City T, that Monique and Netflix settled her gender and racial discrimination lawsuit. So you remember she was boycotting Netflix because Netflix wanted to pay her $500,000 for a special, and then she couldn't tour or do anything for 2 years after she did that special. And she was like, that's her bread and butter, touring and getting her money. That $500,000, by the time she pay everybody which way and lose, she probably would have netted, even after taxes, she probably would have netted upwards to maybe $200,000. And then they wanted her not to tour for 2 years. That's a lot to ask of her when the other people are getting paid $2, $3, no less than $2 or $3 million. That makes sense in the grand scheme of things. That makes better sense. But you have comics like Wanda Sykes getting $5 or $6 million. You've got Amy Schumer getting like 13 or 14 million. So you have all of these other comics getting this level of money, and Monique said that y'all were discriminating against her. So apparently they settled, and they settled to, let me see if they give the amount. Let's see. I don't think they gave the amount. Let's see. My fingers are so fat, y'all. I hit the thing. Yeah. She settles. They don't give the amount in which they settle. That's probably concealed. So I would say that I think Netflix may have thought that they had an issue, a problem, and so they went on and settled with her. If she settled, I'm quite sure it was no less than $3 or $4 million. That's the way I look at it. All right, so we're going to continue on. We got Kelsey. We want to again say congratulations to Jennifer Hudson. She's not only an EGOT winner, according to Hollywood Unlocked. Jennifer Hudson's lands a talk show, and it's supposed to be produced by the team that produced Ellen. So congratulations to her. She's got her EGOT, and now she's getting ready to do a talk show. I hope it works out for her. We see that it's working out for Kelly Clarkson. So let's hope it works out for another alum of American Idol. Y'all, do you all have any information that you want to share with me? Email me at PamEntertainmentTV@gmail.com. That's just one whole word. That's it for Pop Culture Chat. Baby, these topics were something else. Listen, we'll be trying to do this once a week at least. Twice a week at most, at best. Let me know how you feel about this Pop Culture Chat along with my movie and television reviews. If you like what you're seeing, because I see y'all watching. I see y'all watching. So please leave a comment, and subscribe. The subscribe button's around here, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of any and other videos that I do. And as always, people, bye-bye.